Greetings. This is Arvette McLean of Speak, The Universe Listens. As a very young person, I always felt that I carried the weight of the world on my shoulders, having to make grown-up decisions in order to survive a life marked with physical, sexual, and emotional abuse. While my face was smiling on the outside, on the inside, I always secretly cried and felt miserable. However, over the years, I learned some gems that helped to turn my life around. I now get to live the life of my dreams, filled with love, travel, and wonderment. And I am absolutely passionate about sharing what I have learned with you. If you want to live your best life, tune in each week as I, along with some amazing guests, share these life-changing gems with you. Inspired to be more, do more, have more. Greetings and welcome to today's episode of Speak, the Universe Listens. And today's topic is when it's time to grow. And we have joining us once again, Regina Foster.
Hey.
Thank you for coming back.
Thanks for having me again.
Yes, and one thing about Regina, I think that you and I have in common is just our love for knowledge.
Absolutely.
And I guess dabbling in a little bit of this and a little bit of that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So tell us a little bit about, I know you probably don't, like you're just not a bragger or anything like that, but like maybe some of the degrees or certifications that you have.
Sure.
And I guess what caused you to want to do each new thing.
Each one. Okay, so from undergrad, I went to graduate school. I obtained a master's as a physician assistant. I've been practicing for 16 years as a physician assistant clinically. I started out in primary care. I worked for Department of Corrections for a little bit. I worked at Patient First, or urgent care facility, and then I've been at VCU in urology for the past 6 years. So fun subject, right? Talking to men about their parts and stuff. And so, which is all interesting. However, as I stated before, I just don't believe that we all have to be one-dimensional. And so there's many things that I want to do besides that, and I kind of feel like, okay, this is fun, but I'm kind of done. I'm still working there, but I went back to school, got a second master's in gerontology. I talked about that the first week, which is the study of aging, because I love everything about the aging process. I was raised by my grandparents, so I always respected older people, which is always taught to do so. As a child, my grandmother, she wasn't that much older then, but she used to volunteer at the nursing facility near our home. And if school was out, I went with her wherever she volunteered, and it was always a special place to me. And so forever, I just thought, I want to work with older people, but didn't know how to even do it. And so, when you're younger, you're taught, you want to be a lawyer, you want to be a doctor, there's these specific occupations that are thrown out to children. And so I chose not to be a doctor because I'm so extroverted, and I wanted life outside of medical school and residency and all of that, and so which is the reason why I opted for PA versus MD. But again, great profession. Now I want to go back to what I saw before, and it was working with seniors. I thought it was great. At one point, I had gotten my real estate license. I was doing real estate a little bit. I've always had something that I was doing on the side because I can't just do one thing at one time. I did that for a little bit. And now that I'm finished with the gerontology degree, my plan is to open up a business of some sort. I'm still business planning right now, but open up a business of some sort, serving seniors. But in addition to that, I do makeup, and I've learned how to do it. And so anything that interests me, I'll just take a class and just start doing it.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
And I'm the same way. Whatever is interesting to me, I'll just go take a class on it, or sometimes I just school myself. And I'm the type of person, like, if I'll just Google is my
Yeah,
friend,
right,
right? I
exactly.
look everything up all
Except
day.
for medicine. Don't
I know,
go there
that's
for
the
medical
worst,
advice.
That's the worst thing to do.
It is, yes.
It can cause you like just all kinds of fear.
I'd rather you call me first.
Okay, that's what I'll do from now on. 'Cause,
Okay.
yeah, I'm always Googling.
Sure.
But yeah, so yeah, anything that catches my interest, I'm just like, oh, let me take a class on that, or
Yeah.
who's teaching that, or how
Right.
can I learn more about that, or I'm
yeah.
YouTubing,
Yeah.
getting videos
Yeah.
and things like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and you actually took my class.
I did.
Yeah,
I
and so
did.
what caused you to take my class?
And I've told you so many times how much I admire you and admire your spirit and your energy. And so, there are many life coaches out here or claim to be. And so I figured of all the life coaches, I knew I needed some sort of coaching to help me get my mind in the right direction that I wanted to go in, because I know the steps to take to reach the goal. You put them down on paper and then you start working towards them. But I also felt like there was a bunch of negative things going on that I needed somebody to direct me. And I figured, why not go with somebody who I see living what she's saying? And that was the reason why I took your class.
Oh, thank you for that.
Sure,
Yeah,
absolutely.
so excellent. Yeah, I feel special.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
Yeah. I love taking classes like anything that has to do with spirituality.
Yeah.
I love that type of thing, and personal development. And at one time my favorite person to take classes from was Tony Robbins.
Oh, yeah.
Like I would love to go to like his workshops and conferences.
Yeah,
and
well, I
things
wish
like
I
that.
could. I'm not always able to afford his, but one day I will, because he is an amazing speaker.
Yeah, he is. And a lot of the things that I actually haven't been to one of his workshops in a while, but a lot of the things that he taught way back when are practices that I still do to this day. And so it's so awesome, because a lot of times when you go to workshops and things like that, you'll do it for a little while,
Right.
and then it kind of fades out.
Yeah.
But I love when people make an impact in that way.
Yeah, and it's just life changing, and you continue to do that. And so since I've taken your class, which has been, did we do the summer session? I can't remember when we did it. So it's been several months. I feel like I'm still living those principles that we discussed in class. And so I'm still doing my gratitude calendar, and I'm still doing my focus wheel, and I'm doing my daily meditation. But these are things that I didn't do prior, but these are things that I learned from you and learned from the other women that were in the class.
Yeah, good,
So,
awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And actually, this might be a little off task, but I loved when you would do your focus wheels, and then you would have like such immediate results.
Oh yeah,
that kind of feedback was just so wonderful to me.
Yeah, and funny. So I know I shared with you that I put down on the focus wheel that I wanted to spend some time with one particular speaker who's world known in the world of gerontology. She's a worldwide traveler and talks to everybody in all countries, assisted living facilities, on dementia care. And so I put on my focus wheel that I love spending time with her. Like, I just saw it into existence. This past weekend, I went to her conference. I have a picture I have to show you after this. We took pictures together and selfie, and got to know her personally and her team, and it was just something that I put on paper. I saw it, and it just came to pass.
Oh, that is so beautiful.
Yeah,
I can't believe you didn't tell me.
Yes, I just got back on Tuesday.
Okay.
It was called the PAC conference, which her focus, or the name of her teaching is Positive Approach to Care. So she calls it PAC, and she talks about gym tools, which is what she names the different stages of dementia. And so she looks at them as gems, because those of us that are gerontologists, older people, are just precious to us. And so it was just amazing. I would love to share some of that with you later.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you. Yeah, and then even things like if I want to swim, I will look at every person who swims. I'm looking at their videos.
Yeah.
I'm seeing like their technique and how they do it, and then I try to, I guess, like cement it in my mind.
Yeah.
And so when I'm out in the water, course, I'm not doing what they're doing. But whenever I start envisioning them, then my body starts moving. Yeah. And I noticed that too, like on a bicycle. So, on a bike, you're supposed to kind of keep a certain cadence, like maybe between 90 and 120 RPMs.
Sure.
And so I don't go that fast. Like, my legs aren't moving that fast. I do much slower. But then whenever I visualize the experts, I automatically, I automatically go right into whatever their pace is.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. Isn't that amazing?
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
And so another thing that I am doing, I know I talked to you, so I've never really been a writer. I've not in a, what word am I looking for? Help me out here. Not in a professional sense. I've always been told by English instructors from middle school, high school, college that I was a good writer. But I always wanted to write just things that I wanted to write, not necessarily what the assignment was. I just want to write what's on my mind, And so recently I've experienced some things in life, and I decided, I wanted to write. Maybe I'll write a book. It just popped in my head. Nobody told me to do it. It just popped in my head. Maybe I'll write a book. And as I'm writing, I thought, oh, how amazing would it be if my book became a movie or screenplay, right? And so then after that, I'm like, okay, I'm no longer going to write it into chapters. I'm writing them as scenes. So then I enrolled in a screenwriting class. Nothing to do with any other profession that I've done thus far. But I've enrolled into a screenwriting class. I'm taking a class by a guy named Aaron Sorkin, and he's written some pretty amazing things like West Wing. He wrote the movie about Steve Jobs. He wrote the movie about social media, the Facebook guy, and Few Good Men, just to name a few. He was just an amazing writer. So it's an online class, master class, and I've just been weekly looking at his lessons, and if he says something, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'll tweak my script like that. Like I'm in my mind, I'm a screenwriter now. Never done it before. Nobody ever told me that I was. But again, it was just something that I just decided to do. It came into my mind, and I just took the class. So I'm working on right now.
Yes. I'm actually enrolled in, I guess, 2 classes right now.
Okay.
And I do that, like, I'm not even thinking about, I want to enroll in a class.
Yeah.
And something will just pop up, and I'm like,
oh, I want to do that.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm the same. Yeah. My husband, it drives him crazy, right? Because I'll try to do it all at the same time, and like he's like, okay, you can do things. I don't mind you doing the things that interest you, but do you have to do them all simultaneously? And then I'm stressed because I'm like, oh, I need to do this. I forgot. I got to write another scene in my script, and I got, yeah. So, I think that people like us, we do tend to spread ourselves thin because there's so many things that we want to do, and there's so many things to do. Why do we have to do one thing at one time?
Exactly, yeah. Because I'm actually, I don't know if I told you that I was learning to make candy.
You did? Yeah. How's that going?
I love it.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah, now, honestly, I don't have the patience to do it, like, on a grand scale, but just like here and there.
Yeah.
Like it's really
therapeutic.
Fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the candy, it tastes so good. So that's a problem.
Yeah, I was about to say, I would be afraid. Are we talking chocolate?
We are.
Oh no, I would be afraid.
Yeah. I literally had to throw away all, because you have the chocolate and then you make the fillings.
Okay.
And so
like truffles?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've done so many different types of candies, but yes, I did the truffles, and the caramel. And it's so nice. Crazy because you just never know that it's just this easy to make, And I'm just like, oh, I made that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so once I made the chocolates, the amount that I wanted to make, I still had all this filling left. I had truffle, I had caramel, I had a lemon, I had like all this stuff, a white truffle. And so at first I was just like dipping my little spoon in it, like just getting a little
taste, yeah.
Then next thing you know, I'm getting a whole, I was like, you know what?
This is not
going to work. So I had to throw it, and it hurt me to my heart.
Right. Oh, yes. I'm
but
a
I
chocolate
did.
lover. I don't want to pick up that. But I will cheer you on over here. I will cheer you on over here.
Yeah. And then I'm also, I'm just like kind of dabbling with because I'm not a kitchen person. I'm not a cook.
Okay.
I'm not a person who you would ever find in the kitchen, really.
Okay.
But now I'm like dabbling in making flavored popcorn.
Oh, nice. Uh-huh.
Yeah. So,
fun.
I just, whatever is my fancy, I'll just try it.
Yes. And my dad was kind of the same. I'm saying was, as if in past tense. He is the same. He's still alive. And so if he has one interest, he's gonna research everything about that and do, like, if it's just T-shirts. All right, I think I'm gonna start making T-shirts for the alumni, and so he's gonna research every T-shirt company to see how they do it. What's the best material? What's the best, screen thing? Do I iron it on, or do I, like all? And I'm like, and then he's gonna call you and he's gonna text you with all his ideas, and I'm like, this is where I got this.
Yeah.
This is because I thought I was crazy, but no, I was born into crazy. Right. That's what we do.
Right. And now that you say that, now I didn't spend a lot of time with my dad, but my dad was, I guess he was an inventor.
Okay.
He would just create stuff. And I know back in the day, he created, like, I guess there would be platforms, but it's like, because my dad was like 5'6".
Okay.
And so he created this insert that goes in your shoe.
Okay.
That makes you
to
taller.
Raise you. Okay.
Right, but you wouldn't notice it from the outside of your shoe.
Okay, so not like an orthopedic
right.
sole. Got you. Okay, got you.
Yeah, but he used to make just little things, and he would never do anything with them except he would just make it.
Sure.
And so, I'm thinking I probably got it from him as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Funny how those things just pass down without us even knowing, like it's like genetically embedded in us.
Now, are there times when maybe you feel like this pull, like, okay, it's time for me to do something different, or it's time for me to, try something new? Or
often.
Okay.
Usually, I would probably say every year or so, or maybe even more frequent than that. It's like, okay, well, now that I'm done with this task, I need to do something else. So I'll set a goal, and then once I reach it, instead of you've heard the phrase where you just got to stop and smell the roses. I'm not a stop and smell the roses person. This goal has been met. What can I work towards next? That is my weakness, of just keep on doing things and just not resting. I'm not a relaxing person. I don't relax much. I don't, my idea of fun is like training for a half marathon. You know what I mean? And so, people that relax, their idea of fun is like, I'm just going to sit down and kick my feet up and watch. Like, even at home, my husband is like, well, you just sit down. I'm like, no, like, the dishes aren't done. I got to get the kids' school stuff ready for school tomorrow. I'm always doing something. I have to keep moving, and it's just who I am,
Okay. That's awesome. Yeah. Like, sometimes I'm just going along, just smooth. And, like I said, I'm always dabbling. But sometimes I just feel like, okay, I must do something. Like, I must learn something. And actually, I have a secret that I can't wait to share with you all. But I'm not going to share it yet. I'm waiting until the new year. Okay. To share it. But it's something I'm just so excited about. And it just came, came to me out of the blue. Yeah. And
kind of like my screenplay.
Yeah.
Who told you to do that?
Yeah. Who told me to do this? Yeah. So I'm like really super excited about it, but it's something that's going to cause me, again, to grow. It's going to push my limits, and
so I can't wait to hear about it.
I can't wait to share it.
January. I'm tuning in.
It'll be like the beginning of February.
When you'll make the announcement.
Yes. So, you have any closing comments?
I don't. Not that I can think of.
Okay.
Anything else you want to ask her?
No, I don't.
Okay.
But I'm just so excited. Like the energy that you always bring is it's a vibrant energy, and it's one of growth always.
Oh,
And
thank
one thing that I guess you kind of alluded to, but you do everything so well. Like
Oh,
you don't
thank you.
leave stones unturned. Like you're very thorough, and that's something I always appreciated
Oh,
about you.
thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
There's so many things I admire about you. Like I said, that's why I'm here today.
Oh, great.
Yeah,
Thank you so
absolutely.
much. Yes, thank you for coming and
Thanks for
joining us
having
for
me
the
again.
past 3 weeks.
Yes,
Totally enjoyed you.
thank you.
All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed this episode as well. And when it's time for you to grow, it's time for you to grow.
It's just
So
time.
just take that step, do something, anything, and it really doesn't matter. Just try something, and you might like it.
You might. Bye.
Until next time.